Starbucks, a global icon of one of the most powerful countries on earth, with a staggering 35,711 stores around the world, while also generating $35 billion in 2023. So why on earth did Starbucks even struggle to establish its brand on a country that loves a coffee filled with kangaroos and filled with people that says "C" as a curse word? Okay, that was irrelevant. Basically, why on earth did the Starbucks empire not brew in Australia? Well, to begin, let's wind back to July 2000. Starbucks just began operation with its first store being set up in the Sydney business area. And by 2008, its operations expanded into 84 stores in the land down under. Hence, lots of coffee shops. And in a country that loves coffee, that sounds not too bad for a business plan, right? Nope. In fact, 61 of its 84 stores closed, while also incurring a loss of $105 million. The first thing that went wrong was that Starbucks, to put it plainly, was buying its way to success. The number of Starbucks locations grew faster than their popularity, and Starbucks assumed that their original model, which worked in the USA and other locations, could be copied and used exactly in Australia, which proved to be so wrong. Also, do you know what's the one rule you have to remember before entering a new market? The rule is to understand it. Did Starbucks understand the Australia coffee industry before setting up stores? Nope, they did not. Starbucks' menu was more Americanized, focusing on sugary drinks and lacking specialty coffees. Australians, on the other hand, preferred specialty menus and drinks, which was originally derived from Italian and Greek immigrants coming and bringing their coffee culture into Australia after World War II. Additionally, Australians preferred independently owned small coffee shops while developing a close relationship with their local barista, compared to Starbucks, which could not even get your name right most of the time. Another factor that drove a large number of stores out of Australia was the high cost of coffee compared to local ones. Hence, the majority of people buying Starbucks in Australia were tourists, helping Starbucks to keep afloat a few stores during their disaster. Hence, a highly priced sugary coffee just didn't sit well with the Australians, who were not willing to pay for a coffee experience that felt poorer to what they could get at their local cafe. Let's be honest here. As one Reddit user would put it, they didn't fail because of brand. They failed because they had a poor product at an inflated price. He added, the only people still buying are those who don't really like coffee, or indeed know what coffee is supposed to taste like. Yikes. However, not all hope is lost. Australia's coffee market is one of the biggest in the world, hitting over $6 billion in revenue in 2018, and as of 2023, Starbucks still have around 69 stores, which is relatively small compared to their other locations. If one thing Starbucks could learn from their past is that Australians just want a genuine cup of coffee. Hence, they just needed to listen to the feedback from the locals and improved on their flaws, and listen to the locals they did. Starbucks has slowed its expansion in Australia, taking steps to overcome its initial failures, and has begun to see success. The company is now opening stores at a more measured pace, strategically opening stores in high-traffic locations, though most of them are at tourist locations. This slowdown has allowed Starbucks to maintain a consistent level of quality and focus on building a loyal customer base. One of the biggest changes Starbucks made was to their product offering. They recognized that they needed to adapt to local preferences if they wanted to be successful in Australia. They did their research, which helped them realize that Australians prefer stronger, more robust coffee flavors. So they introduced a wider range of espresso-based beverages to their menu, such as the flat white and the long black. Last but not least, they also lowered their prices in order to stay competitive in Australia's competitive coffee industry, and even incorporated elements that were similar to Australian coffee shops. The current Gen Z generation that is obsessed with iced coffee also does help. In 2023, Starbucks finally made a profit totaling to $3.1 million. Though it might seem small compared to their other operations, Starbucks is slowly sipping success in Australia one cup at a time. I think one takeaway we could learn from Starbucks is that you should always know your market. And it's not just knowing your market, like how Mark Cuban would put it.
They don't know even about their business. And so you've got to put in the effort to know more about your industry than anybody else. And that's the brains part, and that's the effort part as well. Because look, if you're competing with me, you better know what you're doing. Otherwise, I'm going to kick your ass. You know.